Uh, Speaking of that, so the SEC is going to probably have a college football playoff dilemma, which is too many 9-3 teams. I don't know if there's an elite team in the SEC, and by elite I mean I wouldn't pick against them in any game they play this season. Now, you can look at that one of two ways. You can look at it the way some Big Ten homers, not you, but some media guys that are like, oh, SEC's down. I choose to look at it and say this is one of the best years for the SEC because whoever comes out of that conference as the SEC champ will have been as battle tested as anybody has come out of that conference in a long time. When you got to buckle up your chin strap to play Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, A&M, like you got to really come to play every week. And with the exception of what I like to call the Nick Saban week in November, where everybody gets to play the Citadel or the
That's all. Ole Miss has them, I think, this week.
Yeah,
or next week.
Idaho School of the Blind or whatever. But if the SEC ends up having a bunch of 9-3 teams, college football playoffs don't have their work cut out for them on what you do with that.
Especially when everyone's beating everyone.
Yeah. I mean, a 3-loss Tennessee, I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that Tennessee's college football playoff appearance last year is going to affect the way the committee views them this year?
It should.
They went in and got blown out in the first round to a Big Ten team that didn't even play in the conference championship.
But the college football playoffs committee has also said strength of schedule doesn't matter, but we all know that's a crock of crap. It matters.
And strength of record is kind of like a made up thing, but still kind of actually does matter because your record matters more than your schedule. If you don't win games that are on your schedule, it's just weird.
So, I mean, and you got some teams that are probably not very good. Like LSU, probably not very good.
Is LSU in the conversation still? No way, right?
But that's what I'm saying about the SEC.
They could go out and play spoiler, I guess.
I could not outside, and I don't even know if I trust Ole Miss to line up against Mississippi State and go, well, Ole Miss is going to blow them out. I don't know. That's what's weird about the SEC. How many 3-loss teams? If you said there's going to be a 9-3 team out of the SEC in the college football playoff, you guys as college football fans, would that make you go, that should never happen?
That was the cutoff last year.
That's what I think is making this tough. I don't know how good the SEC conference is.
But I feel like I've been talking so much lately, and you can cut me off anytime you want, Steve. You have to also look at the point of the 12-team playoff. And it's not to have a Big Ten versus SEC matchup to see who's the best conference in college football. It's to give a chance to schools like North Texas, who is currently 8-1, just knocked off undefeated Navy last week, blew them out.
Or BYU.
BYU. Like, I think of like the Boise State team that won the Fiesta Bowl over, the Sooners back in like 2006.
Which is really what started this whole conversation.
That's where the conversation started. It's like, well, why isn't Boise State? They're undefeated. Why aren't they playing in the BCS National Championship? Well, it's because the computer says that these other two teams are the best, right? But now we have a committee of people who are like, why don't we give a chance to the little – but now it's like the conversation has so much shifted, and I do blame the coaches in the Big Ten and the SEC to say, well, I think we should get 5 automatic berths. I'm like, what? Hang on a second.
But there's
you have 12 shots to prove that you're the better team every week. You got 12 shots, and you lost 3 of them. Why should I give you a chance if you've already lost 3 times? Why should you get another chance to prove that you're the best out there?
But SMU and Boise State didn't make anybody's job easier.
No, they didn't help. But I don't think anybody no one going in to those guys getting into the playoff would say, I think SMU's going to win it all this year. No one says that. No. But in the off chance that it does freaking happen, like, I don't know.
Steve, would you
Yeah,
rather
it's
watch
just-
9-3?
So who would they play? It would be the number 5 team versus like we're talking
Oh.
about like a 12 seed.
Let's say Alabama finishes 9-3, and BYU finishes 10-2, and one
the
of those is
playoff will
going.
expand next season. For
That's
sure.
exactly what will happen. They'll
That's
start
exactly what will
talking
happen.
expansion.
Look
If
what they
not
did at
enough
the end of
SEC
last
teams get
season.
in.
Yeah, look what they did at the end of last season. They were complaining because they didn't get in. SMU did, and Indiana, and why didn't they? That's exactly what will happen. And that's the interesting thing, because the SEC has been such a dominant conference for years, and like you
3
said,
teams in the SEC have been dominant for the last several years. Like it's not
also
like
make
it's the
that
whole
case that-
freaking conference. It's been LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. It has not been the rest of the SEC.
Well, Florida had
certain
a
teams
little-
have had their moments. Certain
Florida,
teams have
yeah.
had their moments.
Who was the coach there? Urban Meyer, the guy who cut his teeth and finished it up as Ohio State and does the Fox Big Noon and has a 7-0 mug and is rather be a Buckeye than a Gator. Yeah, that guy.
Right. But I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe the powers that be, they may look at it like, well, there has to be SEC in it, I guess, for viewership and money and stuff like that. So there's always that. But yeah, what makes it interesting is there are so many 9-3 teams right now, and how is that going to shake out as far as who's going to make the college playoffs? And if some of these bigger teams don't make it, or some of these bigger programs don't make it, like in Alabama. Yeah, I just feel like, they're going to whine, they're going to complain, and they're going to, want expansion in the playoffs just so they can get in, and then it'll just end up watering down the overall postseason product.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't like it, it does have to come down a little bit to eyeballs.
Yeah.
And that's the point of having a human committee, right? Like
Right.
the BCS system wasn't able to do the eye test.
Yes, it
Like
wasn't
looking at the talent on the field.
Yeah, you couldn't go, well, so and so, man, they score a lot of points, and then you look at them and go, yeah, but even look at the offense they have to run because their offensive line ain't good. Like they would just get throttled by whoever. But I'm looking at Alabama's schedule.
At worst, Bama finishes 10-2 this year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I at the beginning of the year, the LSU game was probably one that I was going to be excited for, and the Auburn game, not excited for those. The only game that Alabama has got to
9-2.
the only game they've got to really try to. I don't know. I say that, and Oklahoma went up to South Carolina, beat South Carolina. They only beat South Carolina by 7. So that's what the SEC makes no sense at all. Like I can't look at it. Used to be you go, well, so and so beat this team by this much, and now this team could go play this team. Well, now you look at it and you're like, well, I mean, they barely beat South Carolina. Oklahoma looks terrible in Tennessee, but somehow pulls out a win. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean anything. I have no idea. But here's what I don't want, and then we'll move on to something else. I don't want the college football playoff to turn into a participation trophy for a team out of a conference that shouldn't have been there.
If it does, I'll tell you why, especially if there's SEC or even Big Ten schools in it that maybe shouldn't be in it. It's because they're completely probably going to look at their fan bases and their viewerships that those fan bases have just so they can rake in more money come playoff time.
Well, here's the thing about the SEC. Postseason comes around, and SEC fans are throwing on their every logo shirt, their SEC logo shirts.
Yeah,
Like they're rocking those. Like if one SEC fan is in, or one SEC team is in the postseason, every SEC fan is going to be watching that team's games.
and the committee is just going to look at viewership.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't think
As a
that it's
conference.
necessarily like a participation trophy either, right? Like if BYU finishes the season undefeated, did they not earn their way
Yeah.
into playing? They've been perfect.
What's
Who
like I
says
said
they're
off-
not the best team in the country? They
It's like
haven't
I said
lost.
off air,
All the
we
other
could
teams have.
We could see more Big 12 teams potentially make the playoffs than ACC teams.
Yeah, Texas Tech looks like Texas Tech and BYU is this weekend.
Yeah,
Like, that's going to be an exciting football game. Like Texas Tech looks poised to make a legitimate run at the national championship this year. TCU
College
still
game
looks
day,
fine.
you should be there. Just saying.
Yeah, I know they want to go to some Division II school, and I think it's really cool. But please don't do that this year or this week. Do this. Do it on every week where no one cares.
Yeah, I do love that. I do love that rivalry there in the down in Arkansas. It's really fun. But